The time is 4 minutes past 7. This is Conversations on Energy FM 102.1 and Choice FM 101.1. One thought leader once said, quote unquote, "Be careful with your words. Once they are said, they can only be forgiven but not forgotten." On our weekly motivation tonight, author of motivational books and life coach Ebenezer Mamabolo joins me in studio to talk about the power of words. Join us in the conversation with your questions and comments. Our WhatsApp text line is 079-295-1212, 079-295-1212. And you can also send us an SMS to 47861. That's 47861. Start each SMS with the short code EFM. And each SMS is charged at R1.50. AB, good evening and welcome.
Good evening and thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I've noticed that oftentimes people who do the work that you do are treated not too differently from the work that's done by religious leaders.
Okay.
Because you inspire confidence oftentimes and you speak to the soul. And oftentimes people like yourself as well as religious leaders tend to use words like powerful a lot.
Okay. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And we're talking about the power of words tonight. But what is this power of words?
You know, when I was a young boy, I remember one time when I was being bullied around in the community. And I went home crying to my mom, telling her that, no, they said this about me. They said I'm ugly. I don't even look attractive. And she sat me down and she said to me, "Now bring me that Bible," because she loves a speedy Bible. Then she takes out the Bible and she says, she pulls out a verse and says, "Read that verse to me." And I read a couple of verses. There is power. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And she began teaching me about the power of words. And looking at the power of words, the power that words have got is that they can either make or break us. We are where we are today because of the words that we've been used, or the words that we've accepted that people have used for us or towards us and our situation. And I like what one African proverb says, and this is my favorite African proverb. It says that if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside will do us no harm. And for today's context, let's just change it a little bit to say that if there is no enemy in the tongue within, the enemy outside will do us no harm. Now, when we are looking at words, the power that words have got, they are determined by us, what we say about ourselves, what we say about the situations that we find ourselves in, or even the words that we listen to. Now, those, whether it's our own words or others' words, they've got the power to shape us and our destinies.
You know how oftentimes the sort of language that people use when they refer to the ways in which people communicate on social media with text messages is that sometimes things can be lost in translation.
Yes.
Now, I wonder if we were to run with the example that you started with about your experience growing up where you were bullied and so forth, because I would imagine the experience of bullying is quite common for a lot of people.
Yes.
What happens if the person that kept saying these hurtful things to you was to say, but why should I be blamed for the ways in which the next person chooses to comprehend what I'm saying to them? And I'm asking this because I want for you to talk to us about what makes the words that one actually says so powerful.
You know, what I've realized is that the words that you and I will be using, whether we are talking to ourselves or to others, they have a tendency of they have got a tendency for us to use those words that we were using for us to craft or to form our identities based on those words. And the most dangerous thing probably with words is the fact that when you get to a point where you've crafted or you've designed an identity based on a word that someone said or based on a word maybe that you got from a circumstance, now it becomes who you are. For example, I've got categories of words. Now, the first group of words, these are words, the words that I say to myself that bring about internal motivation. And this would be empowering words. And empowering words are words that help me to become better, and they give me an identity. Now, an identity is the moment when you say, "I am," whatever that you bring after the I am, it forms who you are or who you think you are. Example, when you are encountering circumstances or you are facing challenges, if you say I am a victor, you are empowering yourself and the challenge that you'll be going through, so that but you biologically and psychologically, you would know that no, I am a victor. So no matter what the challenge that it is that you are facing, you have said it, you have given yourself an identity to say that I am a victor. Another word would be a conqueror. The Bible even talks about we being more than conquerors. When you are saying that you are a conqueror, it means that when you are going through that particular challenge, you are reminding yourself of how great you are. Another word would be the fact that you are a winner. Now, when you are going through those tough times, when it feels like everything is falling apart, when you say, I am a winner, you are empowering yourself. And another one would be when you use positive words such as, I am a king or I am a queen, you are giving yourself that authoritarian identity that you would have crafted. So even maybe when you are walking, when you are conducting yourself, you would even get to a point. I remember when I started calling myself King AB, because when they were bullying me, they told me of how small I was, how bad I was maybe in sports. They told me all of those negative things that I was bad with. But when I got home, I said, I am a king. Now, how does a king conduct himself? He holds his head up high. He looks at everyone. He's got confidence. Now, that identity that I gave myself, it even ended up empowering me. And another category would be destructive words. Now, these are the words that destroy us, or these are the words that make us bitter. Now, last week we spoke about the fact that there's one research that was conducted, and they discovered that if someone would come to you and say something negative about you, you would need 17 people to come and speak something positive about you to try to diminish or to try to eradicate whatever that negative thing they said about you. Now, when someone is saying negative things or destructive things about you, here are some examples that you should take care of. If you get to a point where you say, I am a failure, you need to do what I call reverse psychology. Try to reverse that negative word, because when you call yourself a failure, that's very bad and it's even discouraging you. But when you are tempted to think that way, or maybe you are encountering charges that are tempting you to think that way, reverse that saying of saying you are a failure and say that I am a learner who is learning how to win. You are not diminishing the fact that you are maybe going through some tough times, but you are saying that even in this situation, I am a learner who is learning how to win. Even though it's not going the way that I want it to go, or even if it's not going the way that I planned it to go, but I am learning how to win. Another word that's destructive, one would say, I am a loser. When you are tempted to say that you are a loser, reverse that word and say, I am discovering my strengths. Now, when you are saying that I am discovering my strengths, it means that there's still more that I'm learning, and I'm getting deep within me, trying to discover or to find out what am I really capable of. And another one would be the fact that when you say that I am a nobody, it's more of like you don't even see value in yourself. But when you are tempted to do that, when you are tempted to think that you are a nobody, reverse that and say you are a king or you are a queen who's discovering him or herself. Now, when you do that, you are shaping yourself, and even the possibility that no, I am still yes, the situation that I find myself might not be good, but I am discovering how to be a better person.
You know how oftentimes you hear people say this person likes being wishy-washy. They take part in a lot of wishful thinking, and the sort of things that they seem to believe about themselves are not necessarily accurate and so forth. I want us to talk about the power of believing these words as you say about yourself every day. When you say, I'm beautiful, I'm capable, I'm brilliant, and the power of actually believing these words as opposed to just saying them because AB said there's power in words, and I must always use these affirmative words about myself towards myself.
You know what? I remember one time when I discovered one of my mentors, he was talking about the fact that when you are going to be saying positive things about you, and he calls this process, he calls it incantations. Now, it's a process where you are not just saying something, but you are saying something and you are moving. And when we are talking about movement, it goes to physiology. Now, when they studied physiology, they discovered that when you are doing certain movements, they end up empowering or disempowering you. Now, when you are getting to that point, when you are using these words, don't just, maybe you are sitting at home, maybe or on your chair, and you say, I am a winner. No, that won't empower you, and it won't even shake your nervous system or your body. But when you are encountering those challenges, let's say, for example, maybe you were thinking about something that you are tempted to do at work or at school. If you are the say, for example, you are in the mirror and you are reminded of that activity, with power and presence, you say it with power and conviction to say that I am a winner. Now, when you do that, maybe you could even move your body to even remind yourself, or when you are shaking yourself. Now, when you do that, when you say that I am a winner, and you are moving and you are giving it power, it ends up registering in your brain to say that no, this is an activity. Now, the more you do it, you'll get to a point where you even program yourself, or you program your mind. Now, you'll find that if, for example, when you maybe if you could see me when I'm holding my fist to say that I am a winner, now over time, the moment when you start to even put your fist ready, you'd automatically be, your body and your brain will be knowing that no, this is the time when I reaffirm to myself that I am a winner. Now, you'll even get to the point where, now when your body is used to it, maybe you are clapping your hands to remind yourself that you are a winner, or you are a conqueror, or a victor. The moment you even, maybe sometime in public, maybe when you are maybe trying to catch a fly, maybe one time you are not conscious of it, when you are trying to clap or to try to catch that fly, automatically you'd even go that I am a conqueror. Why? Because it's something that has been programmed inside your brain, and those movements which became incantations, they ended up registering those movements, and now it's something powerful that whether you are moving whichever way that you would have gotten used to saying those words, it would become automatic.
We're talking about the power of words on our weekly motivation with author of motivational books and life coach Ebenezer Mamabolo. Share your views with us. Our WhatsApp text line is 079 295 1212, 079 295 1212, and you can also send us an SMS to 47861. That's 47861. Start each SMS with the short code EFM, and each SMS is charged at R1.50. We continue with this motivation after the break.
Conversations, Mondays to Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m.
The time is 21 minutes past 7. This is Conversations on Energy FM 102.1 and Choice FM 101.1. On our weekly motivation tonight, we are in conversation with author of motivational books and life coach Ebenezer Mamabolo. He's talking to us about the power of words. Join us in conversation. Our WhatsApp text line is 079 295 1212. That's 079 295 1212. And you can also send us an SMS to 47861. That's 47861. Start each SMS with the short code EFM, and each SMS is charged at R1.50. Perhaps to just borrow for the very last time to the example about your childhood experience.
Mm-hmm.
Should people always question how they would react to the same words they utter to the next person if tables were turned? And why?
Yes, we need to do that, because sometimes we are not conscious of what we are saying, because maybe we are ignorant of the situation that someone else is in. But if the tables were turned and you find that no, you needed some motivation or you needed some inspiration in your life, you wouldn't. I remember one time, there's this notion when you are going through a challenge, we tend, when we are going through good times, when someone is going through a bad time, we tend to say, no, that's nothing. But when the tables are turned and we are the ones who are faced with that particular challenge, I don't even want you to tell me that, no, that's nothing. I want you to motivate me or to sympathize or empathize with me. So we need to be very careful of the words that we are saying to other people, because tomorrow, those seeds that we would have sown, who would be the one who's supposed to reap from them.
All right. So the issue here is that one needs to be as decent as they possibly can to the next person.
Yes.
But over time, then there's also, you always encounter, I would imagine, people who are just overly nice. They use terms of endearment when they talk to people. They will refer you to as dear, sweetheart, and these people generally are not too. They don't shy away from, uttering complimentary words to people. You're good at this. You look beautiful in that. And is that something that you also encourage?
I do encourage that. And as much as, because we are different from the environments that we grew up in. Yes, some of us might have grown up in environments where they are a shock, maybe, if I may use that word. It's a shock to hear maybe a parent or someone you love telling you that they love you. But it's a good habit for us to develop, even though you might not be used to it, or if you come from a good environment that made saying those very beautiful words a norm. Make sure that if you don't have that, or you don't have that background, try to develop one or two of those words, maybe for yourself. Start with yourself, so that when you've been using these empowering words for yourself, then you can expand to even using those words for others.
Let's talk about individuals who have normalized destructive words. And we're talking here about internally and externally. You find that this person has been struggling to lose weight. This person has been struggling to pass a certain module at university. This person has been struggling to find a job. And the list is endless. And this person has now, it's become habitual that they believe negativity about themselves. And it's quite difficult to believe that there's any good about them. And then equally, there's those who continue to be told that you're not very beautiful, you're not very smart, you're not very talented, and it gets to a point now where these people have normalized these destructive words as their reality. Let's talk about that.
I am reminded of what happened to me when I got to university, the first time I failed. I remember as I was studying, when I initially started my studying, I was so empowered, and I was encouraging myself. But as time went by, I started to self-destruct. I self-destructed in a way that, instead of me seeing the fact that, yes, I was at a university studying whatever I didn't want to study. And I was coping very fine initially. But the moment when I stopped looking at the situation that I was in and started to self-destruct, when I changed the words that I said, instead of me saying that I am learning and I'm here to learn, I started to say to myself, I don't want to be here. I want to deregister and I want to go home. I don't want to be here. I don't like these people. I don't like this environment. Now, when I changed the tone and the words that I started to use, I started being discouraged. When I was supposed to go to study in the library, I started to feel discouraged. Now, even when we are going to other people, we need to remember that because we are coming from different environments, some of us have I remember a story of Edison. And what happened with Edison was that when he was a young man, it came to a point where one time his mom was called to school. And when his mom went to school, she came back with a letter, and she tried to read the letter to Edison. And when she was reading that letter, she said to her son, and she said, "My son," it was from a letter from the principal. She said, the principal wrote this. She said, "Your son is very bright and very intelligent. We do not have the facilities that would be able to equip and empower him with that amount of intelligence. He's too educated. We don't feel worth it to be able to be the ones to make him a better person. You as a parent, you use that time, develop your child." And later on, when he grew up and he discovered, after his mom passed away, and he got that letter, he discovered that what the letter had written was that, your son is too dumb, he's too stupid, don't even bring him back to school here. He's not worthy of coming to school. But what he got from his mom, or what he got from outside, which were words said by his mom, he took those destructive words that someone said about him and his condition, and he used those words to empower himself. Like, here are some examples that we need to take care of. There are some times when people would come to you and say, "Who do you think you are to achieve this type of success?" Now, when someone is saying this type of success, maybe they are talking this out of maybe their experience. Another one would say, "As poor as you are, how dare you achieve or strive to achieve 1, 2, 3, 4?" Another one would be, coming from this particular family that you come from, how can you achieve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or do this and that? Or another one would be, why you? Why not others? Why you not my children or other people? Now, when someone is using these types of words, the best way for you to respond is to tell them that, This is me because I can, because I've prepared for it. Yes, I am achieving this because I worked hard for it. Don't devalue the work that you put in for you to be able to achieve the success that you are achieving in your life. And what we need to do is that when we've gotten to a point where we were using negative words to ourselves, to our situations, towards the challenges that we've been through, we need to get to a point of forgiveness where we forgive ourselves. Let's forgive ourselves for letting other people give us identities that destroyed us, our ambitions and our dreams. Let's forgive us for letting other people talk us out of our dreams and the desires that we have. Let's forgive ourselves for seeking other people's approvals of us and our dreams. Let's also forgive ourselves for letting people to discourage us and what we are capable of doing. Now, when we do this, when we start by forgiving ourselves, those destructive words, those negative identities that we might have had formed or we might have adopted from others, they lose their powers because we've forgiven ourselves.
Is it easy, though, to forgive yourself?
It's not easy. It's a process, and it requires consistent work. When you are continually doing this work, when you fall short, to say that, no, I forgive myself for falling short of what I wanted to achieve.
Moving from using bad words in one's life, how does one do that exactly?
When you find that you've been using bad words, if you're not, say for example, you will be maybe incorporating the use of incantations, of motivating yourself. Maybe you could even do reminders. Like what I usually do on my phone is that when I've got something that I want to remind myself of, I would usually write a reminder in my calendar to say every day now, remind me to say something positive about myself. Or if it's a skill that I'm learning, I will set that reminder to remind me so that whenever that alarm rings, I would know that no, this is the time. If maybe you're going out and you've been using bad words, when you are setting those reminders, maybe you set one when you wake up, maybe a follow-up, maybe when you're going to work, to remind you to say, keep on saying positive words to yourself and to others.
Do we have a code to live by for the rest of the week?
Yes, we've got a code. And this code is a code that was found on Mother Teresa's wall. And the code goes out like this. People are often unreasonable, illogical, self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it might never be enough. Give the world the best you've got anyway. You see, in the end, or in the final analysis, it was never between you and them, but it was between you and God.
Your contact details?
My contact details on all of the social medias, just search for Ebenezer Mamabolo, and on Twitter, it's king_AB. And when you're booking me as a coach and as a speaker, contact me on 071-639-7807.
Thank you very much, AB. Our next appointment is next week.
Thank you.
Conversations, Mondays to Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. on Energy FM and Choice FM.